Hello again, Keith Loki back with another episode of The Colony. I believe we are on episode 26, maybe 27. I did end up recording an episode for this, but during that recording, I ran out of electric charge. And then when I tried to restart the video, or I tried to find the original video so I could mash together this video and that video, it didn't show up, so we're actually gonna start over again. I still do have the craft with now, as you see, a battery I just put on it just so it doesn't happen again. We are gonna get this to minimus. The main issue that happened in the prior video that the prior video before the prior video was going to be for was we had not enough power to run our agriculture, and because of a glitch with the sifters code, meaning, well, not really a glitch, just a complete exclusion of the code for the sifter taking dirt to, here, I'll actually show you what I mean. If we pull up colonization, let's just take the biggest sifter we have and scroll down to the very bottom. As you can see here, oh, I wish that worked. Fertilizer. It takes in gypsum, electric charge, and machinery of 2.02 machinery per day and produces 0.25 fertilizer and 0.02 recyclables per day. But with the general dirt sifter part of it, it takes in 20 dirt, 12 electric charge, and 0.02 machinery, and outputs the exact same as all the other three recyclables of 0.02, but does not do what it's supposed to do. As it's a sifter, it doesn't have the idea of, or the description of this sifter, which is it will limited to deposits of 2.5 or greater. I should be on a deposit right now that is a fair bit large. We will save this and actually double check that, because I could be a complete idiot. I don't know if it played over that, but I could be a complete idiot right now and not understand that I'm in an area that doesn't have enough supply for that amount. So gypsum, we want to figure out, why isn't it showing the ships we have? Projection, regular map type, biome. It's not showing any of these ships for it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go into itinerary. We'll go ahead and jump into here. We want to look at the concentrations. So we want to pull up this map. So we're there. If it shows on the big map, we're good. Gypsum. We're at 6%, so it's not based around the drill not working. So there is configuration code missing from the sifter files, from production, trying to produce something that doesn't exist, but still it will still produce the byproducts for something. Don't glitch on me, come on. Gypsum minder. But what we're gonna do is, during the video that actually didn't save for some reason, we're gonna go ahead and send this craft out. I do know that with where is it? With this right here, it will pull gypsum, dirt, and hydrates out of the planet core. I should have just put one of these drills instead of the portable strip miners, because they only pull dirt. So with this, it should be able to produce everything we need. It has the wheels to drive there, the connector ports with the actual piping to dry or to plug everything in. It has a bit more resource generation or electrical generation from just solar power, and then it has this reactor on top, along with landing stuff. We're actually going to go ahead and rotate these out, because I do not want to end up with another craft that is not able to freaking land, which is getting annoying. They should land fine, but even so, these would be able to slow us down enough. and then we have a transfer stage along with this transfer stage. Or no, this is maneuver stage, this is the transfer stage, this is the orbital stage, and this is the get off the ground stage. So let's begin this flight. Save and launch. But yeah, in the prior video in the video that didn't save between this, which I'm kind of glad it didn't save, I was actually very frustrated in the fact that the gypsum miners weren't going to actually work because of the fact that they're missing code, which I just figured out between videos, and I was not quite pleased. It's understandable. The Rover dude making these mods, he's working on a ton of mods and all that, so there's bound to be issues. There's only one guy working on Umber Space Industries, but I was just so angry that I had to ditch the asteroid base and the first landed base on Minimus because of that little bit of code missing, which, albeit with a little bit of understanding of community resources pack and all that, it's very easy to fix. I might look into it tomorrow during the school day when I'm waiting on lunch and look to resolve that issue instead of waiting for the GitHub fix request to go into it and then Rover dude getting around to it, because as I said earlier, he's a very busy guy with all the mods he currently has in place, such as his colonization, the exploration mod, the survival mod, the asteroid recycling technology, his freight transportation technology, he has carbonite, carbonite plus, what else? 2 or 3 other mods I'm not thinking of. He's maintaining the community resource pack, and he's actually working with Squad as an employee of Squad, so it's understandable he's going to miss a few things. I would not like to be in his position, because that is a lot of work and a lot of people looking up to him to do stuff. I would be probably bald by now if I was in his position, or he's just really great at handling stress. So we are now at an APO of 80,000 or 80 kilometers. We just gotta wait till we get to the point where we can start circularizing. Ooh, ooh. What is overheating? Oh, those are the radiators. So they're actually pulling heat away from everything else. So that's good. A little bit further, and we will be at a height where we can start doing our last maneuvers, where this stage will take over. We will start doing at 79.5, because I assume that's when we will actually be at flat on the horizon. I really need to stop breathing the vaporizer smoke towards the webcam. I don't think we have enough reaction wheel control also with this much weight, but the engines will fix that. So this only has a bit of thrust to it, but with it we're dropping another 16 tons. So we should be able to circularize this orbit no problem. Go ahead and tilt ourselves up also, just so we can get our APO ahead of us, because right now it's behind us. We don't want it behind us. It's catching up to us now. As long as it's catching up to us, we're good. And there we go. Our APO's in front of us. so we can start tilting back down to our what is it, prograde vector. As long as we continue increasing our APO, even at a slower rate, it doesn't matter. As long as, ooh, shoes, actually. I was kind of surprised by that. Now it's going back down. I just want to keep it going. There we go. We're in a stable orbit now. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this, where is it? Get rid of this arrow shield. It will free up a couple tons for us, giving us more delta V. Now we want to target Minimus. Set as target. Once we get our maneuvers set up towards Minimus, we're actually going to jump. Whoa! Turn that off. Once we get that on its way towards Minimus, we will go ahead and come on. We will jump back to the planet and try and transfer a bunch of resources or supplies to it, because we don't want to have that on our journey there kill off, hopefully not kill off, but might kill off all the people on the base. But if the config file I altered to, because there's 5 levels to supplies. There's 0, nothing happens. 1, they get grumpy and becomes Taurus. 2, where they kill everyone, or they just die. 3 is, I'll have to double check it in, but there's 1 level to it where they actually sabotage the base. They get so angry they just fuck shit up. But if I'm correct in the setting I picked, they will just stop working, which is what I was used to. In prior videos I mentioned, oh, they'll just stop working and then suddenly they died off. If we're lucky, that won't happen anymore. Which is a good thing, because we have all that supplies back up at the asteroid base, and having them all just sit up there and not be used is just such a waste. If need be, I could even set up a logistics base with a massive storage tank of supplies and a small tank or a small logistics pod of supplies, and just pump all those resources into that base, pump it into the planetary logistics, and then have an unlimited supply of supplies, technically. Meaning I wouldn't have to worry for a couple of years. And even if it did happen, I could just go ahead and bring a bunch more resources there. I need to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, or the retrograde. Because we went a little bit too far. Well, a lot too far by space standards, but we can rectify it. Once it gets there, we'll do a quick 5 times and stop. We just want to bring it back down. Perfect. So, now that we got that on its way there, we're going to go ahead and turn on the reactor. Or no, to save on uranium, we're going to go ahead and turn on these 2 solar panels. They're tracking solar panels, so they should be good. We're going to go ahead and focus our view on Minimus. And now we need to find the logistics base. Only sub. It should be around here somewhere. Metal substrate. Like, there's those logic bases, but there should be a logistics base. Okay, what happened to that? Oh no, one of these water and metal miners are a logistics base. Let me sub water, substrate and water miner landed. I think it's this one. If it is. So we're going to rename this Logic Hub and turn it to base. Now what we want to do is new transfer, and we're going to find that what was it called? Supplies ship. And we're going to transfer supplies set from carbonite from both. Initiate transfer. We just want to fill up that new base. So that's still on its way. So we're still good on that. We want to now jump to that supplies base and verify that it got its supply of resources. Like 30 days for it. And it did not supply any supplies to it. I don't understand what happened. Okay, that does not make any sense, and we might still have, sorry if I sound frustrated, but it's understandable for me to be very accidentally sent them the wrong way. Okay, new transfer from the asteroid base to supply ship, supplies, set, fill up. Okay, it doesn't have that much room. From the source, initiate transfer. So help me, if this ends up screwing up, I'm not going to be very pleased. Because we might have enough supplies for it to be safe. If it doesn't have any supplies, I'm sorry to say, but I am actually going to use the thing I don't like to use, HyperEdit. Because I still do have that on here, even though I don't like to use it. It's just mainly for these reasons of, oh, we're just not going to work correctly. We're just going to break. We're going to turn on a few lights. It's just mainly connected to everything not working correctly. So we have these supplies now. A good chunk of supplies to supply the base with enough food for 190 days. 413 days it's, or no, wait, what? Minimum supplies, yeah, 190 days. So it's not going to stay red in a while. So I do not have to use the friggin' HyperEdit. Because we have enough food in there. And this is still 23 days away. So that's a good thing we did that, because it would have starved out the other base. We can actually look at it right now. The habitat will last for quite a while. And the logic crafts say there's issues with it having to use supplies, but that's because Bill, if he isn't dead right now, he was the one that went to these crafts to set up their logistic hubs. And what is this logistics? I gotta double check what this logistics thing is right now. So as soon as you get a little bit closer, that maneuver, wait till we're right about there. Focus view. Now, we want to try and I want to get over on this side. I don't want to have to deal with the reverse orbit. Okay, we're going to bring this up, down, and all around. So target that maneuver. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Just really... Oh, what did I just do? So I might have just screwed up this whole freaking maneuver. Doesn't matter. So we just got to get to that new maneuver. Once we get there, we speed up time, or we do our thrust, speed up time, get to the whatever the maneuver node would be. I think it's Apo. When you're not in a good orbit. That's good enough. So we're gonna warp here. And if that works correctly, we will be stopping at a relatively good area. Decent. So it worked correctly for once. Usually it ends up with me jumping past the planet. I haven't really used that maneuver or that tool very much because of the fact it ends up with me jumping past the planet. Okay, what base are we targeting? Set as target. Okay. You want to come around one more time. And then we want to go for, I believe it's normal. Could be anti-normal. We're going to go ahead and ditch that stage so we get better maneuverability. No, we need to go for anti-normal. It does push us away from that stage though, which is nice. Okay, so now we want to go to the retrograde, slow ourselves down, and then we can use the trajectories mod to try and get ourselves into a nice target for them. Because if we can do that, we're set. We're golden. Okay, now we need to go back to anti-normal, bring our orbit back down. Got a message on Facebook, but I didn't get anything for it. Screw it. Most of Facebook is just a bunch of peons anyway, so most of the messages don't matter. And there. We'll quick save real quick, just in case we need to bring ourselves back or down to a different orbit. Because sometimes you get to the point where, oh, we're actually going to land on a slope. And speaking of that, we're going to ditch that stage because we do not need it, even though it had a fair amount of fuel left in it. It's just going to cause us more problems. And we're 90 kilometers away from our goal. We are going 170 meters towards our target. We'll wait till we're a couple kilometers, or we'll just wait till we're 3,000. Then we'll just start aero braking. Well, not aero braking, just braking. With this last stage, we should be able to do it no problem. We are actually going to retract our panels in case we get into an accident. Because because there's no point of wasting those. These engines should, at the angle they're put at, be able to do this fine. If not, I'm going to be a bit frustrated, because I'm trying to get this upper stage correct. I think most of the issues we've been having is they're pointing directly down and interacting with other parts of the ship, which is like blowing a fan into a sail. It's not going to work. What was that thing I was doing? There we go. So yeah, it's like we're blowing a fan into a sail. So now we just need to slowly skirt our way over there. Once we get to about 200 feet, we'll start thrusting again. And then we'll just turn off all our reaction torque, because we won't be needing it anymore. We'll stop at 10 meters per second because we won't. Whoa! I thought that was the ship blowing up. But yeah, we're actually pretty close to the base, so we should be fine in getting towards it. And we do have a fair bit of gypsum in this base, which once we get gypsum and I should have paid better attention. But once we get gypsum and start producing, we can start producing fertilizer, and we can also start producing hydrates if there's any in this area, which I'm not sure if there is. Let's actually quickly check that. Hydrates. Bring down the cutoff to a very low level. We have no hydrates in this area, which kind of sucks. But that's no real issue, because the hydrates would just be reproduced into water, and we currently have a ton of water. No issue at water right now. Now we just need to slow down for a touchdown, and we are landed. Now we just have to, oh yeah, I forgot, I need to shut off these damn reaction wheels. Where is that toggle torque? Oh, I forgot to put that on the top. That's the one thing I meant to do. Without putting that on the top, it means, okay. We're going to have to be careful with this. There might be another reaction wheel that's still activated. Reaction wheel disabled. Reaction wheel disabled. So it's just the strength of the actual wheels is causing this to roll. So we'll get this up to 2, and then we're just going to speed up time. So this is going to take a while to get there. But this will supply the gypsum and dirt if we need extra once we get the sifters fixed, which I will be looking into. That post on the KSP forums might have been the answer to my my query. And if we can, those dirt miners will help us get enough dirt, along with the 2 miners we have on there now, to get more gypsum and hydrates and any other materials such as metallic ore and metal or minerals. And there's a few other resources we can get from sifters that will then supply us with just a little bit extra. Not a lot, just a little bit extra. We're at 26 days now. The supply ship should have, 175 days worth of supplies left, which on Minimus, it's not that big of an issue. But say we were setting up a base on Duna, we would have a lot of issues. Like, I'd have to with setting up this base on Minimus, it gives me the information I need to know and understand to do other bases. Like setting up a base on the moon in real life before going to to Mars or Venus or another solar system. You need to know all the worst case scenarios, which on the moon, worst case scenario, you bring along enough supplies for a rescue ship to come along and save that base. But with, say, setting up on Pluto, it's going to take a couple of years for someone to get there, so you cannot screw up. You have to have everything perfectly planned out and also have enough stockpiles to, in case shit goes wrong, you can either rely on those stockpiles or have enough redundant systems to say your main oxygen thing fails, which would have lasted you, say, a couple hundred years. That should have lasted you a couple hundred years. Then you have a backup system that can last you 10 to 20 years. Just so you can get a replacement sent out in a timely manner or have the ability to reproduce that placement instead of having one sent out. Which sooner or later, once I actually get back to producing material kits like I had on the asteroid base, I will be fine with this base since it can reproduce its plate replacements or it increases its own productivity. Like instead of sending this ship out, if I had material kits of a certain amount, I could then just produce this little miner for gypsum and not have to worry about resending out a new ship from Kerbin to resupply this base with the ship it needs. Like I could technically go to Duna, send out a craft with, I don't know, a couple 100,000 material kits. It would take a lot of fuel to get it out there and all that, but once it's in orbit and it has its electric charge, its specialized parts, its fuel, its everything it needs, it could just drop all the parts you need for a base, no problem, instead of sending them all from Kerbin. But again, that would be such a laggy endeavor. Would require a lot of time and a lot of patience. Like right now, if I was producing material kits here, I could then put a stake out, hammer it in with a mallet, and then be able to and then be able to produce more miners, no issue. Come on, you're getting near there. That's 7, 6, 5, 4. Just gonna roll that a little bit in really slowly. Might as well extend those panels. As soon as we get to the point where we're like in between these two, we should be good for range. Should already be good now. We'll just go a little bit further, because I don't want to have to rearrange everything and have a Kerbal come out again. Oh, come on. There we go. So we now have our gypsum miner. So switch to the other base. Get out Helena again since she has the drill. No, 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 don't go for the solar panel. I hate you so much right now, you stupid, stupid Kerbal. Doesn't matter, we have the reactor. Hopefully those will disintegrate in a few minutes. Albeit I'm going to be so angry for the next few minutes. Now if these frigging vents blow up, equip the drill. Okay. Now I should have left those friggin'... Come on, don't you dare break the other solar panel, or so help me God, I'm gonna frigging vent you. Vent you right in the damn orbit. I don't even care about your family. Don't even know if Kerbals have family, but they would not hear about you being sent out into the orbit of Minimus with no word of, oh, she must have blew up on Minimus. There would be no closure if you broke that other solar panel. Just be missing in action. Not killed in action, just missing. They would be hoping like frigging Interstellar that you were not dead. Oh, come on. Come on. Grab. Okay. So we now have access to this. I'm going to leave those other parts on. Just start the reactor. Deploy drill. Deploy drill. And they're too damn low. I don't even care. It is what it is. Start gypsum drill. So we're now getting gypsum. But we're bouncy. Okay, what we're going to do, stops gypsum drill. No, we're going to leave those active actually. We're going to go back EVAU. We're going to go ahead and on link. Just so you're already popped up. Because I'm fine with you guys hopping to an extreme amount. But I would prefer this to be flat down once it settles. I don't know if it's going to settle though. That sucks. Okay, we're going to jump back to that craft. Because I know we have enough torque to bring it back up, no problem. Okay, we're going to actually retract this drill. Maybe we can move these up. Maybe. Even if we can only do it a little bit, it's better than nothing. Yeah, we might be able to do this. So what we're going to do, scrap part, scrap part, scrap part. If we're lucky, we might be able to grab these. Okay, so this might work. Not very well, but it might work. So we just need to turn off this damn SAS. Where is it? Toggle torque. If we're lucky, this works. If we're unlucky, then it's still going to be crap. Link. Because we did take off those wheels, so that would have taken off a little bit of height. We'll just leave this Kerbal outside for a little bit longer. because if it doesn't work, we want to stop it as soon as possible. Deploy drill. I think it should be fine. Start gypsum, start hydrate. What about hydrate? Nothing to harvest. So, it's a little bit better. It's not perfect, but it's a little bit better. It's fine. As long as it's not tilting the whole base and causing it to rock as it mines, it's fine. So, we now have this base able to effectively produce its own food. Start agroponics. Start life support. Start life support. I'm not 100% sure on what life support does, but screw it. Start cultivator and start life support. So, it's now balancing itself out. It has enough electric charge from this and the other area. The workstation is, I don't know what the hell it does. We have a small amount of wear on everything. So that uses, the cultivator uses, I'm not 100% sure what the cultivator uses. It is what it is. So let's transfer crew actually to that. That now has efficiency or productivity of 4.1. It uses substrate and water for something. I'll have to figure that out. But I'm going to go ahead and how much gypsum does that uses a ton. I'm going to go ahead and end that video here. In this video, we got that gypsum miner up and running since the sifters were not working. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you dislike, leave a dislike and a comment. I'd love to hear why you disliked the video. If you want to see future updates by me, I update Kerbal Space Program Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and sometimes Saturdays, depending on if there's a challenge for that Saturday. And I'm currently doing a Command & Conquer 95, the original, for Throwback Tuesdays and Thursday. I thank you for watching, and you have a good night.